Well, the three of us were surprised here on the NBA Countdown set to watch the Clippers be dismantled by the San Antonio Spurs. 26 points, even though Tim Duncan only played 16 minutes. And it leads us to this question, Bill Simmons and Irvin Johnson. Are the San Antonio Spurs better equipped now than they were last year to beat OKC, Magic?
I think it's still all about the health of Tim Duncan, Ginobili, and Tony Parker. And Coach Popovich is doing a great job, Michael, of managing their time and minutes being played in the game and making sure once they hit the playoff, those three guys will be fresh, Bill.
I'm so glad we're not talking about the Lakers. It's just great to talk about other teams in the league. Listen, in 2011, Memphis, I thought, just shocked them. That was like a heavyweight fight where somebody just landed a great punch they never recovered. Last year against San Antonio, they're up Oklahoma City, they're up 2-0 in that series. Game 5, Ibaka and Perkins go nuts. Harden goes nuts. Series slips away. I still wonder, were those flukes? Has this been one of the best teams the last 3 years? Have we kind of poured dirt on them a little too early?
Yes. We poured dirt on them too early.
We might have.
Because you know what, Bill? I think they're better. And I had a conversation with Tony Parker about this during the All-Star break, and he was talking about how people get on Greg Popovich, starting in the league office, of course, about resting those guys, about sitting them for games, if not long stretches. And what the Spurs understand and understood after those losses you point out was that Kawhi Leonard, Tiago Splitter, and Danny Green, specifically those three guys, and there are others, but those three guys had to get better. They had to be so good in these games, they were no longer looking over their shoulders, waiting for Duncan, Ginobili, and Parker to rescue them. They were equal partners in that team. And now they are really close to equal partners. Danny Green shooting 43%, Tiago Splitter better. Kawhi Leonard, to me, Irvin, could average 20 points a game if he was playing on sort of just an also-ran team. Those guys know now they can play, and they make it so they can beat OKC.
Well, because last year with James Harden, the Thunder bench beat the Spurs bench.
Killed it.
That's where this is all going to come down to. And that's why Popovich is developing his bench right now. And don't forget Steven Jackson, because I think he's going to play an important part if they can beat the Thunder and the Clippers.
Well, I'm glad you brought up Harden, because Oklahoma City's bench is worse. So you have San Antonio's bench gotten a little better, Oklahoma City's bench gotten worse, but Ginobili hasn't been the same this year. And I think you talked about some of the guys that have gotten better. I think Ginobili's gone the other way. We haven't seen, like, him unleash one of those full-fledged Manu, just where he rips off those 6-week stretches, and you're just like, whoa.
But I don't think Popovich
maybe they don't need that anymore.
That's right. They don't want him to do that. So I just wanted to point that out.
I feel like they're the same. I think it's the same team from the last 2 years, and it just comes down to circumstances. And if they get the #1 seed and you have to win there, you're going to have a game where you go 18 for 20 with your bigs, and Harden goes nuts in the fourth quarter.
But
that's the way you beat them.
Health. I mean, which Magic mentions. To me, the two circumstances, health, the San Antonio have it, and the other one is Harden missing. You take Harden off that team in the fourth quarter, OKC was so accustomed to having Harden forget bench at that point, he's a finisher. He's a closer. He was the second most important player to Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
So now you don't have him. Can OKC manufacture that sort of, and you always talk about the defense Harden played.
Well, see, you're losing offense, you're losing leadership, and
creativity. And creativity.
Exactly. The defense with James Harden. But don't forget about Coach Popovich. That's the equalizer.
You know who didn't forget about him? Vinny Del Negro last night. They were down 30. It's like, man, more layups, really?
Wait a minute. I thought the window had closed on the Spurs.
No.
We're talking about that for like 7 years. Still open.